Hello and welcome. This here is a game that is built on top of the projectile motion simulations that you have learned in the last tutorial. And this game was actually built by a student of mine called Zach. He was only 12 years old and he followed the previous tutorial step by step. And then he simply built this on top of it. And the reason I am showing it to you is because it has certain elements that I don't teach in this course that many young people are very proficient at. And the first and the foremost in all of these is pixel art. So these costumes, especially this bird right here, you can see it. The bird changes colors, so you have different birds of different colors, which is just a color effect, and it looks like it's flying. And it is actually drawn like this in pixel art, and it has animations that make its wings flap. It also has costumes that make it look like it's crashing to the ground when it's hit by the ball. So we also have this target, which is drawn in pixel art, as well as the cannon. So there are no sprites from any libraries. The student simply pixel by pixel drew every single sprite. So let's see how the game works. So just like in the standard projectile motion, we have a projectile that starts off in this point. It's fired. Rather than with the slide there, it's fired when we click. And the speed of the projectile is actually determined by the distance of the mouse when we click the mouse. So that's pretty cool. I'm going to show you the code that determines it, and this is what happens when you can hit a bird. They fall down. So if you have a look at this code right here, we have, when green flag is clicked, pen goes up, the field is cleared, so you'll see that all of these things disappear when the green flag is ticked. The new shot is set to 1. So this new shot, whether it's 1 or 0, has to do with ensuring that we can't have two projectiles in the air at the same time, because the projectile is actually a clone and a copy of the main cannon sprite. So cannon actually has costumes which are both the projectile and the sort of crash onto the ground. So the rotation style all around has to do with the way the ball flies through the air. So we have switch costume to cannon. So at the start, we are a cannon. We are in this particular location, and until the mouse is pressed, we are pointing towards the mouse pointer, and the launch speed is whatever the distance of the mouse pointer is. So see, the cannon right there is pointing to the mouse pointer, and the launch speed is higher when we press the button. As you can see, the cannon has disappeared. That is actually the position of the cannon at the moment. When you shoot it, it becomes just a stamp. So when the green flag is ticked, now if this is on the ground, we do have a cannon, and the cannon is going to be there. So once the mouse is down, the clone is created, and the clone becomes a ball, and this particular ball follows the launching trajectory. And when it hits the ground, when y becomes 0, then it becomes one of 6 random costumes of impact. It can look like that, it can look like this, so even different impacts on the ground look different. I mean, this is such a wonderful idea. And I think the rotation style here actually even rotates the impacts on the ground, so they have probably, if they can be spun upside down, and there's 6 of them, there's 12 different marks on the ground that this ball can leave. And yep, he's basically turning them 180 or normal. And so there's 6 different marks, there's 12 different ways. And I think that pretty much explains what the cannon does. The bird is, every time it's created with a different color. It flies with a random speed of -1 to 5, so sometimes it even staggers backwards. and if it touches the cannon, or which is the cannonball, then it creates a clone of itself, and that clone then changes costumes and falls to the ground and crashes. And when they start as a clone, wait until space key is pressed and then delete this clone. So the space key, which I'm going to press now, is going to delete any sort of dead birds. Dead birds are a clone of the original bird. I need to shoot one down, come on! So that when the space is pressed, it's going to delete these clones. And as far as the cannon is concerned, see, when we have these things that crash, these are actually stamps, but the birds are clones. So they all get deleted when the space key is pressed. So you're going to see this, and this disappear when the space key is pressed. So I think that that explains the game. You can have a look at the file, play around with it, see if you can improve it. The main teaching point of this game is not that you recreate everything yourself. It is that you look at individual elements, and some of you will love Minecraft and will love pixel art and will be able to replicate some of these cool costume changes. And for others, you may want to implement this distance to mouse pointer and repeat until mouse down, because I actually think that this is a better implementation than what I originally thought. So I was very impressed with it, and that's why I decided to show it to you guys. Bye.